Sergio, start the video.
What's up, guys, and good morning.
That's pretty close. That was close enough. Yeah, we'll call that good. What's up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of the Pimp My Tractor project, and we've got a special delivery we're just opening up right now. We've got
Open box.
oh yeah. Oh, all right, there we go. Yep. Okay, yeah. Along with adding a crap ton of lights to this thing, one of the other things I want to do is I want to add a camera system. Reason being, if you guys have ever operated a farm tractor, anytime you have an implement on the rear that's actually working, you constantly have to be sitting in the seat, turned around, or you kind of have to sit sideways on the seat and you're just always looking behind you, right? And it's like, that's no fun. So what we're gonna end up doing is we're going to be ending up mounting some cameras on the tractor. 1, so you don't have to constantly look behind you. 2, because it is next to impossible to see the fork tips when you are trying to go into pallets and all that. And if you have the bucket on here to know if you got a full bucket or anything like that. You know, these loaders are so far forward, you have the hood and everything in the way, you just have zero visibility up there. So we're gonna change that. You know, we're all about making things easier and more efficient. I searched and searched and searched. I was gonna put a giant monitor in this thing. However, I found this entire system with this monitor. It's an odd size. It's like 5.5 by 10.1 inches or some weird size. Not really sure why. It's kind of an odd aspect ratio, but it came with 4 cameras and pretty much everything we need to be like somewhat plug and play-ish. Worst case scenario, we can always upgrade this later, but like, I mean, it's got, look at that connector. Like it's pretty simple, right, Sergio? All we gotta do is run that though through the dash versus running, you know, 4 cameras worth of wires or anything like that.
Actually, if you're gonna upgrade, you have to upgrade with the same company because they have their own pinout layout.
We'll figure that out later, Sergio. Maybe I'll love this size of monitor. You know, again, it's not huge. It almost looks like the Holley EFI monitors that everybody's running on like their buggies and all that. So we have up to 4 cameras. I don't plan on using 4 cameras, but we can if we need to. Minimum, we need 2. Sergio thinks we should go for 3, and we'll go for
myself.
Yeah, Sergio always likes to make more work for himself.
I don't know why.
So we've got 2 different styles of cameras. These 2 are kind of, these are meant to go like down the side of a semi-truck. So these are going like your mirrors, I believe, right? Are they adjustable?
Yeah, it should be adjustable.
Point them where you want them. All right, so we've got that style of camera, and then we've got this style of camera. This is probably what we're going to be using. One. Yeah. Oh, look at that sweet little shield right there. That's, oh, we got an SD card?
Yeah.
32 gigs?
Yeah. Normally they don't include these things.
That's high end right there. See? Yeah. This had really good reviews. I'll put a link down in the description to this kit. It's the reason I bought it is because it was just a complete kit. I wasn't trying to piece together stuff, but it had really good reviews. Now, first things first though, is we got to start building some brackets for these light bars. We're going to do the light bar across the front. Again, we're replacing pretty much most of the factory lighting. Those lights will be going away. We'll replace those with like some floodlights. We have the light bar that's gonna go across the windshield. We're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do in the back, but basically we're gonna have to make custom brackets for everything because the brackets that come with the light bars just aren't big enough.
Do you have reverse?
Yes.
And does it give you any?
It gives you a light. It actually is. This little light right here is a reverse light, and as long as you have a reverse light, you have something that will trigger when it goes into reverse, which will then trigger the camera power and bring it up on the monitor as a backup camera. Smart idea, Sergio.
Yeah, because you will have 4 small screens, but if you go reverse, it will maximize the size and just put a single screen.
We were trying to figure out mounting location for the screen. We don't have the best mount that comes with it. It's kind of hokey. We got the big old V antenna that was the back of a limousine so you can get the TV reception. Obviously, it would easily mount right there. That would be the easiest. Thankfully, it sits lower than Sergio's holding it because then it doesn't really block your view. However, it's kind of annoying. Like, I don't think that's a bad spot. Obviously, right now you can see a bunch of glare, but these windows are all getting tinted, so it should cut down on the glare. Oh, man, it doesn't need to go all the way up. I don't really use this. Or my original plan was something was going to live right here. That was my original plan. But with this mounting system, it's not really the best. Like I was thinking we'd build off of this bar. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Also in the window?
Yeah, I mean it came with some double-sided tape.
You can go the other way around too.
All right, there it works. I don't hate that.
Okay.
I don't hate that at all. I'm looking. Now I'm looking at the screen.
And you can look at this one too.
Oh, look at the mirror. Ooh. Looking back forward, looking at the screen. I think it's pretty low fatigue. I think we're good. Good luck with this headliner.
That's what I think.
Oh, no, look, we got screw there, 4 screws.
Yeah, right.
Easy. So, oh, two more. 6 screws. 6 screws. Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, shoot. 2 more. 8. Don't worry about the whole HVAC system.
Damn.
Sergio had to sell the plasma cutter, the CNC plasma cutter. So we're gonna have to get a little hokey on these brackets. The brackets that come with these diode dynamics, I am not a fan of at all. Basically, you can only undermount them like this, or they flip over and you have to flip sides and you can top mount it. There's no bracket that comes to where you can mount it from the back side like you would typically on a windshield. And then they have this proprietary little swoop in here, and obviously you need 2 bolts in it because one locks it in, the other one allows for your adjustability, and then you can, hold on, let me see what I can do with the hand, there you go, lock it in. So we need something that's going to mimic that. We're going to use some flat bar. We're going to try this with some flat bar, and they'll probably just use a spacer there because there's no way I'm going to try to fight and bend, you know, what is that, 3/16? Yep, 3/16. I'm not going to try and bend 3/16 into that swoop.
Why not?
Without having a bender. I mean, I could probably do it. So we're going to see. It's not exactly how I like to do things, but we got to get this done. It's important. We got a farm to farm on. Crops ain't gonna wait, Sergio. Okay. We gotta get this done. While I'm making the brackets, Sergio has the whole monitor system fired up. Now it does do full screen. It's got this little thing, I guess, if you want to use it as, I don't even know, Bluetooth radio, but it's like not really, like, where do you wire this up as a car radio? There's no wires for that, or is that in here? I don't know if there's any wires for that. All right. Either way, we're not doing that. Go away. I think we can make that bigger, and there's a way to maybe, there we go. Now we got full screen, Sergio. I mean, I could see the fork tips where you're sitting on that thing.
Yeah.
I could see the fork tips on there. It's not ideal, but.
Because you want to raise it up.
Yeah, so my original plan, oh, that's way up there. My original plan was to build like a little bracket that attached here with like a little gooseneck coming off and get it to like that height, which does nothing more for me. So, hey Sergio, how about right here, right at this level, because you can see right through there. Yeah. And then look at that, we can see the fork tips. I'll probably end up painting those orange or something so they show up even better on camera.
Like a reflector tape on this?
Yeah, or just some orange paint. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say though, the image quality is pretty good on these. Yeah. For most vehicle cameras, I'm pretty impressed with that. We got all kinds of adjustments.
4K right there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's really 4K. Let me turn the volume up so I can hear you better, Sergio. So we've gotten front placement down. We were working on the rear. We're gonna mount one of these. We obviously have 2 different styles of camera. Oh, is it adjusting? Maybe? Maybe? Okay. Now we're upside down. The other way around. So 2 of these cameras I think are meant to mount on your side mirrors, so they're more tall than they are wide. So Sergio's rotating the lens 90 degrees. We also had one camera show up that is kind of dead. Like you have to wiggle it to get it to work. Thankfully we're only using 3 cameras, but just fair warning if you do buy this kit. I've heard the customer service is good though, so we're gonna find that one out. Look at that, we got Sergio. And again, this looks better in person than it does filming a screen with a GoPro, but oh, that's looking good, Sergio, right there. Right there? It needs to point. Go higher? Not kind of like, well, go back down. Yeah, I don't. Now, trust me, guys, I wish I wasn't doing it this way, but I don't want to spend like a full day trying to make really like tricked out custom brackets. Normally, I would geek out on details like this and like spend way too much time on it for little result other than like it makes me feel happy. So today we're just trying to make this simple. So these are going to be the brackets. Obviously, they got to get cleaned up a little bit. This is just a test, but you can see I've bent a little angle on this tab. This is what's actually going to mount next to the windshield, because as you'll see, the windshield actually radiuses back. So if I just made these at a 90-degree angle, they're gonna stick up at whatever angle the windshield is. These aren't exactly perfect. They still stick up maybe just a little bit, and I can still tweak them and bend them a little bit more, but the more we bend that angle into this little tab piece right here, the straighter we get. And obviously we want the light bar to start there, and it's probably gonna end up pointing down. And we're going very, very old school on bending this. We are just putting it in a vise and beating the crap out of it with a little sledgehammer. Probably stressing the metal, but we're not really putting anything too heavy on this, so I'm not too worried. Let's give that a shot. We're looking better. We're still just a hair pointed up. We need to come just a little bit more. I probably could have cut these off and actually welded this corner together instead of trying to bend it, but it's been bending pretty decent. The master himself has begun interior disassembly. This is the part that always freaks me out. There's a lot of stuff that has to come apart to be able to run these wires. Good news is though, check this out. Sergio noticed on the side that is running to the cigarette lighter, similar to my Diamond C trailer, look at Coyote actually welded in little tabs to help hold wires.
Nice.
That's cool. You like that, Sergio?
Yeah, I like
That's quality, right?
quality. And a bunch of space here.
Look at that. We can run all the wires in there, Sergio.
You don't want to sit the
Monitor right there? No. Now it's not perfect and we don't have exactly the same amount of adjustability, but if you can see that little piece right there, she's got a little bit of a curvature to her, and that is to allow us to adjust the light bar up and down. If we don't do that and we just drill 2 holes, basically wherever those 2 holes are, that's the angle the light bar is at. And Sergio keeps asking me, like, you know, where do you want it? Well, I don't know where I want the light bar until I actually get out on the property, somewhere where I can see a couple hundred feet in front of me and know exactly which way I want to angle the light bar up or down. So because of that, I decided I need to put some adjustability in here. So what I did was figured out where I wanted this back hole and basically just ran a bolt through here. I did it upside down. It's gonna be a little hard with one hand. Basically using this bolt to kind of pin in place where this thing's gonna live, I traced a little bit of this section here and then came in and I used a drill bit on this end, drill bit on that end, drill bit in the center, and then connected it using a jigsaw with a metal blade. Now it's not perfect, it's far from perfect. However, it's gonna give us hopefully enough adjustability. Now I just gotta do it again. This is essentially how this side is going to work. 2 of these little plastic spacers ended up working out perfectly to fill that void. I need to cut these bolts down to the right size, but that's how she's gonna work. And you can see, it's hard to do one-handed. Well, just take my word for it. She adjusts. My 2 little pilot holes. Now we'll come in with the correct size drill bit. Use my Nix stick. So this is basically a metal cutting compound. And I like it because it's almost like a glue stick. You're not spraying and getting oil everywhere. It does heat up and basically melt, but it is essentially like butter. And you just get a little bit on your drill bit there. And as it starts to heat up, it kind of melts and sits in place. Hole number 1 is done. Get a little more Nix stick on there. Hole number 3 gets a little bit tricky because you're essentially splitting the difference between the 2 holes. Once it starts to cut through, sometimes it breaks over and wants to go to the other side. Well, one side or the other. The last one worked out pretty decently. Hopefully this one does as well. All right, doesn't get much better than that. There she is with the 3 holes drilled. You can see we have that little radius that's kind of forming there. I'm just gonna put the drill in there and connect these. Just big enough. We then come in with the jigsaw with a metal cutting blade, and I'm gonna knock down these edges that the drill formed, and then we'll come back in with that rasp and we'll just clean everything up. And there we go. Again, she's not perfect, but she's pretty decent for kind of what we're working with here. My boss Sergio gave me a lunch break. I'm very grateful. First one I've ever gotten while working for him. But look who showed up. Everybody's favorite. And right to work helping Sergio.
We never stop working. We gotta work for it.
It's the first time seeing the new tractor. What do you think?
Great. A lot of room inside.
Little upgrade from the zero-turn mower.
Way better.
You ready to mow the fields?
I'm ready. Grade, everything.
Oh.
We're gonna get it all done.
Hold on, you're hung up over here.
We got another one?
Just pulled it. There you go.
You got it?
Yeah, all the way down.
Okay. Dave's gosh dang restaurants.
You don't need it back, right?
No, yeah, let's just leave that out. Oh, that's nice.
It's got a dual motors for the air.
Yep. Sergio is now putting together his game plan.
We
gotta measure.
all the way from the battery to the fuse panel.
Then we gotta go up, then we gotta come down.
Go up and down.
Down and over.
There we distribute it.
You can tap into some of the original wiring, however,
If you're not gonna use too much power, yeah, you can. But if you're gonna upgrade, then
if we go with the really bright light bar.
normally companies don't think of that. They're like, yeah, this is the wire gauge we need. This is what we're gonna keep. We don't need nothing bigger.
So we're gonna upgrade all of the wiring to the lighting. And then the front light bar will come on when the 2 overheads come on. But again, so we're just gonna rewire that. Rears, we gotta figure out. Then we're gonna do 2 sides on each side. 2 side lights on each side. Are you excited?
No.
I'm excited.
No, I'm excited too.
All right. Sergio, I was early today though.
Yeah, you were.
Shoot,
That's amazing. That's amazing. What happened?
I got up early to go coyote hunting.
Oh, that's right.
I've been up since like 5. Things are about to get serious. I've got to drill the hole in the cab for the Nutserts that are going to be going in. Well, Sergio pointed out a very, very critical thing. Hopefully you guys can see it. Might be a little bit dark, but the AC lines these two hoses run into this small square tubing. And as you can see from the size of these hoses, they probably fill up the entire tubing. And then you've got the same issue over here. Those two hoses go into this sections. I do not want to hit the ACE lines. That would be very, very bad and an absolute pain in the butt to replace. And there's no Coyote dealership anywhere nearby. We're just gonna have to go really slow and hope for the best because there's not even really a way to slide anything in there. It's so freaking tight up in there. Very nervous, I don't wanna do this. I've been pacing for a while, so I don't have to do this, but I'm gonna have to do this. Meanwhile, Sergio's down there running his main lead, so again, he's gonna run a power and ground up to the fuse box, and then from here, he's gonna distribute everything. So he is running, what do we got, Sergio, 8-gauge wire?
Yep.
8-gauge, so Sergio did all the calculations to see exactly what we need, and he came up with 8-gauge. All right, we've got my tiny little pinhole there. I don't smell any refrigeration. I don't know what it smells like. Now we gotta step it up pretty big, I think to like a 3/8 for the Nutsert to get in there, so it's a decent sized hole. It was sketchy, but we did it, and I honestly have no idea if we damaged anything inside there. I hope not, but these are the Nutserts. These go inside, and then you use a gun that's basically like a rivet gun, and it crimps the back. This will lock in place, and what this does is it gives us a threaded insert to now be able to bolt things to the actual cab of the tractor. You could, if you wanted to, drill this and actually tap it and put threads in this metal, but it's so thin, you can see there, you'd have like half a thread and it would just eventually work its way out. So instead, we use these, and then we get a solid, at least 1/4 inch of threads, and it should lock this in place beautifully. I'm gonna put this side on, bolt it in place, and then adjust on that side to make sure that we are like perfectly level and not all kind of cockeyed, because that would drive me nuts. So once we get this one in place, pinned in place, then I can use a tape measure here, go over there, mark that side, drill it, and we should be good to go. This is the Nutsert tool, and again, it's just like a rivet gun, essentially. You're gonna put it in, like so. Not that strong at this angle.
You can keep changing it once you do that first. Go, 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 go. Okay. Okay. No. Tell a little bit more. A little bit more. See if it works. If it's too much, then
Not very strong.
No, but I mean it's too much for the.
No, we don't want to break that.
No, yeah. You don't want to break the thread, so.
All right, I think we're good. Okay, yeah, let's not get too crazy. Riv nut is in, and we now have a threaded piece that we can bolt anything to the tractor cab. Now that both Nutserts are in, I've pulled the brackets completely off and gave them just a quick little cleanup. I'm gonna be using my favorite paint, and that is Toyota forklift paint. This stuff is phenomenal. I used it on basically roll cage on the forklift over there. It sprays really, really well. It's a little bit lighter than the Coyote gray of the actual cab, but it's gonna be close enough. It's, you know, closer match than black would be. And this stuff sprays great. It's very expensive, however, it is awesome. This stuff lays down super smooth, awesome coverage. I love this stuff. We'll give it a couple of coats on this side, flip it over, finish it off, and then we can get them installed. Sergio has torn this entire thing apart, but he found his way into this compartment where the fuse panels. Look at this. This entire tractor is taken apart.
Taking apart is not the hard part.
Oh, yeah, remembering where everything goes?
Yeah. Putting it back together, that's the issue.
That's why I got you, Sergio, because I cannot remember 30 seconds past when I take a bolt out where the heck it went. To mount this rear bar, this little hook thing is in the way. I don't really know what this is for. I'm assuming like to hang up hydraulic cords or something. I don't know, maybe a bungee would attach to this, similar to the back of a semi-truck that has all the air lines that are kind of sprung on a little hook. Not 100% sure. However, if this was bent a little bit further up, it would be out of the way. It was Sergio's great suggestion. I was about to make some new brackets, but we'll see if Sergio saved me some time. I'm gonna try to bend this thing over without scratching up too much stuff. Oh, you're coming to me?
Yeah.
All right, just put this big stick in your way.
Don't scratch it, don't scratch it.
There you go. Let's see how strong I am, Sergio.
Can I better? Don't hit me.
Can't tell what's gonna bend first. This piece of.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, let's go.
3.
One more.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, well,
What broke?
it's the weld right here. It just cracked.
Really?
Yeah, it's all right. I don't think this is meant to hold any weight. It's not cracked all the way. It's just
We're strong.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Give it a test. It's always that last one, Sergio. We had to go for one more. Okay, let's see if she will fit now. We should hopefully be good to go. Yeah.
There you go, look.
That'll work, that'll work.
Oh yeah.
Look at that, Sergio. Your snake finally made it inside?
Yeah.
All right, now seal that hole up so no real snakes make it inside.
Man, you don't need company?
No. On the back, we are also going to use rib nuts. Again, just to make life easy. Oh, we gotta go a little bit bigger on the hole there. All right. On this side, we have to remove the washer fluid reservoir, which is also the reverse light mount, and the 7-pin trailer connector mount. Get this whole box out of the way, otherwise I cannot get my drill bit up in here. Oh, and of course, the reservoir doesn't come with it. Is it just hung on there, maybe? There we go. Come on, girl. You're almost there. There we go. All right, stay there. So Coyote, for whatever reason, on parts like this, they put these little plastic caps over the nuts or the bolts. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's a nice little finishing touch, but like, it's kind of a weird place to do it when they didn't do it a bunch of other places. What happened, Sergio?
What happens is you need more brakes, so. Because
I was taking my Union 15
after.
while Sergio was gone, and it hit me that Sergio didn't put the camera wire in that sweet loomed wire setup that he ran all the way right to where we needed inside the cab.
Took me a while to do it, yeah.
And it's all taped up, and it's not going in there now. So
And we have a big connector, so.
yeah, we got to fit that through some holes. So yeah, that sucks.
This sucks.
It's all right. You got good practice. Now you know the holes to go through to get up to there.
Pain in the butt. And are you sure you don't want to go wireless?
I mentioned it earlier and you laughed at me and said wireless sucks. Sergio had to take off for the evening. We've got a decent amount of work done today. We got a lot we got to do tomorrow. We've basically got about a couple of half days left of Sergio before he goes on vacation. So we got to try to really get this done. We do have this bar mounted up, and yes, we just took the plastic off. I know it's gonna freak everybody out. The original plan was to mount it up there. However, again, it hit the window. I wasn't too keen on it being up there. It just didn't fit quite right. So down here, I think it's actually gonna be ideal. It shines off the back. We still have adjustability. It's a little bit tight, but we're still able to adjust it a little bit, even though right there is kind of perfect. And again, you can see how super bright these Diodynamics light bars are. They are incredible. Let's turn the lights off. Again, it's still daytime out, so we do have a little bit of light coming in through that skylight, but this will be a pretty good example of how freaking bright these bars are. These are no joke. These ain't the little cheap Chinese bars. These things are super bright. I think it's gonna be perfect out at the ranch. We're gonna be able to mow now. And then don't forget, we still got more pods that are gonna be going up on the roof. And this is the small light bar, jeez. It's even bright, like looking through the camera screen. Can't wait till we get the front one all done up. It's gonna be so sick. I don't wanna put it on yet though. The brackets are already, they are painted, it is dry. However, we need to remove part of that fiberglass cap in the front to be able to get to those pods. So that's gonna happen in the morning. Day 2. Alrighty, we are back. Day 2. Let's call Sergio. His door wasn't open. Let's see if he hasn't quit on me yet. We gotta get a lot done. Tomorrow, this thing's getting tinted.
Finally.
Sergio, you're late.
I'm here since 10 a.m.
Oh, I'm here. I don't see you.
I'm taking a van over here for the SWAT.
Oh, we got a SWAT van?
Yeah, want to check it out?
Yeah.
On the front, all the way to the front.
Can we play cops and robbers?
Yeah. Check it
Okay.
out.
Okay, I'm coming. I don't think I can show you guys whatever we're about to look at. You think Dad's gonna yell at us for holding the flashlight wrong?
Who?
Oh shit. You. I'm gonna go ahead and mount the monitor onto the headliner, and basically we're gonna end up abandoning this little sun visor. You know, it's kind of cool, but it's really in a weird spot, and since we're gonna be tinting the windows, I don't foresee ever needing that again. We could leave it in place, however, it would always have to be in the down position. It would never actually be able to be stored because we're gonna be mounting the monitor right where it goes, so we wouldn't be able to flip it tight to the headliner. We will end up putting these back in though, so we don't have holes in the headliner, so we'll keep it looking pretty classy. And then it's really simple to reinstall, so if I decide we should put it back in, you know, we can always do that later. The way we're gonna attach this is we're gonna use a piece of plastic backing. This is just some scrap from Sergio's shop. That'll go on the back side. and then we'll screw all the way through that into this. That way we're not relying just on like the cardboard of the headliner to not pull through. We'll have this acting like a giant washer, and they would essentially have to pull this entire piece through for that to fall, which will never happen.
Talking about yourself again?
Yeah, I talked to myself. Alrighty, y'all, I screwed up. So I centered off of the 2 mounting brackets for the visor. And before I put all my screws in, I'm like, you know, something looks a little bit off. You know, clearly we're off with the dome light and we're off in this little space, but I'm like, man, but I'm centered here. Something's not making sense. Then I looked at the visor, and well, you can see the way the visor is made. There's a smaller section there and a larger section there. Like the visor mounts were made off center for whatever reason, but then the visor's center. So problem is now if I scooch this over, you're gonna see that hole. It needs to shift over like a 1/2 inch. So either I shift it over and you see the hole and it just is what it is, or we leave it. I don't really know at this point, but then it's gonna look off center to this thing.
We're looking inside to measure and make sure it fits the very center of the cab first.
Okay.
Or if it's dead over the center of the steering wheel.
17.5. Yeah, it's 1/2 inch.
But where's the steering wheel at comparison? Is the monitor going to be dead over the center of the steering wheel or not? What's he got?
No, I think, yeah, it's off center.
So now we're going to have to just figure out how to fudge that thing and move and keep it underneath the spikes on the... Hey, another big plastic piece we got, the other part, let's just put that there underneath.
So we're moving it. It's basically what Sergio's telling me, or I'm gonna notice it and it's gonna drive me crazy. What's a 1/2 inch between friends, boys?
Good friends or not good friends?
We're gonna have a little change here. We don't want to take the roof off, which is really the only way to mount new lights here, unless we use these brackets. And we're gonna have to get a little funky with making spacers, because the new lights, the mounting's only about that wide versus these ones, which are obviously this wide.
Why don't we use this to mount?
You wanna go down there?
To mount our lights there.
Ooh, Sergio. It's gonna be off center though.
Aw, man.
Let's try and make a spacer.
Okay.
Let's see if that works. We'll use the same mounting brackets.
Yeah, original.
Yeah, we gotta keep it factory looking. We lucked out, and thanks to John for telling me just to make some spacer out of some square bar, or square stock that we had. We don't have any round stock, otherwise we would have cut them out of that, but I cut some pieces of square stock to make little 1/2 inch spacers, and now we are able to actually use the factory mounting bracket from Coyote to mount these. Again, this saves us a bunch of time of trying to figure out how to mount the other brackets that came with these lights, especially considering the way these are set up. The original wiring just ran through the actual bolt. So we're just gonna drill out that little piece of rubber, and we're gonna still use that same entry point to get inside of there. Otherwise we were having to like take this roof off. We think it's like the only 12 bolts we see up here, but God forbid it connects to this little subsection down here differently. It would just gonna be a pain in the butt. So this saves us. However, not 100% sure if that's gonna work on the front, because the front has a little visor that comes out over top of the lights that hopefully we clear. Otherwise, like, I don't know if we can go upside down because the light bar we tucked up really high. So there's a little bit of a gamble gonna happen on the front. I don't know if these front ones are gonna work, y'all. So this bracket was normally flipped the other way. As you can see on this light, see how these arms kind of come down and over? Well, these lights are too tall to fit up underneath this little visor. So, and mounting them upside down with the bracket in this position is even lower, and it's gonna conflict with our light bar. So I flipped the bracket completely over. That way this bar comes up higher, and now that when we mount them upside down, it actually brings them up higher, but I'm still worried we're not gonna clear the light bar. Those are my mounts for the bar. Like, it's very, very close. I don't know. We might have to shrink down to smaller lights in the front, which would be kind of lame, because this is really important up front. Albeit we have the giant light bar, but I want some floodish lights as well, even though that light bar is, they have spot, they have flood, and they have driving. That one is a driving setup. I don't know exactly what that means. It's probably a combination of spot and flood, but I would like to add some flood on top of it, just so we have extra width on our, our lighting pattern. This build is getting very, very expensive. We've got some, what is it, Stage 3 series LED pods by Dynamics with different lenses. I was able to get the light bar mounted, and well, as you will see, it does interfere with these lights. Like, we can get them into somewhat of a spot. I could tighten that down, but they are touching, and when you do this, it picks up on the roof just a little bit, and there's a gasket in between the actual like roll cage frame of structure there and the roof. So if you pick up on that, you're easing up tension on that gasket, which means like there's a chance dust and pollen and all kinds of craziness is going to get in there. Plus, like, you don't want things rubbing, especially on something like this that's constantly bouncing. These are just gonna wear on each other, and that's no bueno. We're gonna try the Dynamics lights and see if those fit, albeit those are like 3 times the cost of these lights. So let me pop this off. We'll switch the bracket back around. Those lights mount more in the middle, where these mount right on the end, so it should give us a better location. Well, of course, these fit dang near perfect. So this is what we're gonna end up using. They look sick. They're definitely sicker looking. However, they're very expensive. This currently has the combo lens, which I believe is like a spot flood. And then the driving, oh no, there's a fog lens is what I brought over, which is even wider. I don't really need anything to shoot out further, considering we have this big monster shooting out further. This also has a driving lens combo. So with these Dynamics, you can swap out lenses to whatever you want. So if you look at the pattern that's on here, this is more of a cube pattern to these lines. And then you can buy these lenses. So this one is the fog, which is more of a spot, and it's got the lines on both sections. I don't really know. Maybe we'll just leave those up there. These are, I believe, are like 30 bucks a piece for the lenses on a very expensive light already. Maybe we'll just run with what we got up there. Now I can't attach any of the overhead lights there until Sergio runs all of his wiring through those holes. This one's gonna have to come back off again so we can get to that back section. So I'm gonna move ahead and mount the upper rear camera. I've already got the lower one mounted. It's very hokey, very ghetto. However, this is how we're gonna do it for now. It is just zip tied on there. And then we got a couple little side zip ties, but she is like super, super secure. Didn't have any better idea, so that's what that's gonna be for now. So this one will be up here, and we played around a little bit with these, and this one might be the one that shines on the implement, whereas that one just shines straight back, or vice versa. We're not 100% sure. This one's gonna require a good sized hole to get that connector through, so that always makes me a little bit nervous. Sergio, is there anything back here? Can you feel the back of the roof? Always a little nervous going into fiberglass, but I've pre-drilled a little hole so it has some relief and we don't crack the fiberglass roof. So it's got a little gasket on the back, but you can see it makes a little bit of a gap down here. The wire's at the top, so I'm gonna make the top tight. We'll still end up siliconing around this so no water gets in. But rear camera is all mounted up, good to go. We siliconed the hole, the big hole that I had to drill to get the wires in. But we are looking pretty solid, pretty factory looking as well. I was a little worried drilling into this, but it ended up working out pretty well. But I think this is where we're gonna call it for the video. This thing is still a ginormous mess inside. Look at all the wiring Sergio's been doing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. And how that man keeps track of everything, I don't know. How he's gonna keep track of how this goes back together, I don't know if he knows, but there's gonna be a lot of work. However, we are close. We're close-ish. We're gonna jump back on tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, this thing's gonna be getting tinted too, which my scheduling really, I didn't do a good job on scheduling. So we're gonna be working around the tint guy, depending on what time he shows up, which is gonna add another element. And tomorrow is Sergio's last day, he's going on vacation. So we have a lot we have to do in the next video. But with that, we're gonna wrap up. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now to do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and get a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com. We just released a brand new tank top. Everybody's been waiting for tank tops. So make sure you guys go check that out. Y'all are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.